Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Left Side, Strong Side. I'm your host, Chance Ellison. Join with me, my two co-hosts, Mike Deacon and also Jacob Blunden. And yeah, we are here to Left Side, Strong Side, everybody. We are here to discuss, the latest goings on in the NFL, but as well as the our main event, where we describe every single movie franchise. Every NFL franchise with a movie franchise, which can be a lot of fun. But we are not doing this show on our lonesome. We got a stacked panel. We got a lot of people, returning guests, actually all returning minus one kind of. But yeah, this is the first official show on the channel. First one, he was early on. He was with our Super Bowl preview special. Matt Thomas is back on the show.
What's up, guys? What's up? I've missed you all. It's nice to talk movies with you. I can't wait to see two of you at least next summer. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah.
Next to him also. Now realizing it's also kind of our Juneteenth special because we never had this many black people on the show at once. Amaru is here.
Let's go. What up,
I almost said something I shouldn't say, Chance. So.
How you doing?
It's okay. Go ahead.
Oh, it was good to be here, fellas. How's everybody feeling? How's everybody doing?
You're doing good. Doing good, man. And because I got my producer saying, we can't have this much black on the panel at once. Gotta balance it out. Moose Haas is back again too.
How do I'm the determining factor in that.
For once in your life.
That sucks. Thanks for having me on, guys. I will be your token see-through white guy because normally that's I go from tan to burn and then peel and then I'm back to white. So it's just that simple.
Now, before we get into the actual, the main event of the show, we got some news stories to talk about. First, we got actually a lot of Bills stories to talk about, which I'm so happy Jacob is here for all this. First of which, okay, we're gonna start with the easy stuff first, Jacob. First of which, the Bills extended defensive tackle Ed Oliver, 4 years, $68 million, and signed linebacker Leonard Floyd, which reunites the pass rushing duo from the Rams for Super Bowl 56.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I get the Leonard Floyd signing. That's pricey for Ed Oliver. Yeah, that's a little pricey for him.
It's very pricey. It's very, very pricey, considering we're in salary cap hell right now. So, yep. God.
Considering this also notched 2.5 sacks last season.
But at the same time, that's almost the going rate for a good defensive tackle right now. And that's the truth.
Yes, however, there is that adjective of good.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you're not paying for a good D tackle. You're paying for an okay D tackle who has not lived up to his first-round pedigree.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
No, I understand. I understand where the problem is, like, who do you get to replace him right now?
Yes.
I understand.
Exactly.
And that's the problem. It's the going rate. We're kind of in that. Unfortunately, we're in that position where I think this is it. This is it. We're in an all-in situation this year, and I don't know how well it's going to go. So.
Well, you know what? You got some, a good news. Gonna balance it out. We got an okay story, but we're gonna follow up with a good story, depending on who you ask. The Madden 24 athlete has been revealed, and it is once again the Bills. Josh Allen is the Madden cover athlete.
Call this a good story. I feel bad for Jacob.
Well, I'll lie in a second. This was a bit of a shock to me. I thought it'd be like a Joe Burrow, Jalen Hurts. I thought it would be Justin Jefferson. I honestly thought it'd be Justin Jefferson. Until I was reading up on it, I found out that Josh Allen was actually the most used player in Madden 23 across all modes.
Makes
like
sense.
whether it was so yeah, like good for Josh Allen. But the Madden curse is hitting swiftly. Why? Oh, here's the kicker of the Bills trio of stories. Stephon Diggs is a no-show. The training camp.
That's the
and
big
nobody seems to know why.
Okay, can I just go back to the Madden cover for half a second, because
Yeah,
the Madden cover feels like this was who it was going to be, Josh Allen, if Madden hadn't died. It was always going to be Allen, but then Madden died, so last year they had to give it to Madden, which is fair. They did the right thing with that, and they've just not ever course corrected, which is so weird and so just bizarre that Josh Allen wasn't this season. He was not the best player last year. Last year was not a good year for him at all. It makes no sense why they picked Josh Allen whatsoever, other than he was meant to be in 23, but Madden got 23. That's the only way I can justify it. Stephon Diggs not turning up.
So reports are he did show up. He just showed up, talked to the coaches and staff, and then left.
I said this after our loss to the Bengals. I came on here and I said, we will not see Diggs in a Bills uniform next season. He will be traded. I really, truly believe.
It's a good picture, though.
It is a good picture.
Going to have to trade him. I have been saying for a while before they cut him, Hopkins, Diggs, and someone else. Like what is who, you know, Arizona gets Diggs and gives up a first or something, and Bills get Hopkins and someone or something. Like I thought that was the deal, but now Bills have to go all in on Hopkins. They have to. You've got no choice, and we're not going to be able to afford it. Diggs, trade for someone. You're going to get a second maybe for him, because people know that he doesn't want to be there, so you're not going to get top dollar. But I think Diggs doesn't want to be there, and look, same thing happened with the Vikings. He gets shitty, and he left. Exact same things happened now. I think there's going to be teams that are a bit hesitant unless you know you have a very good system behind it. I don't know.
Could the Jets
he will not be a Bill by September.
I'll give you Amari Cooper in a fourth.
Oh man, but yeah, I'm very look. This is going to be a very interesting season for the Bills. See how hard the Madden curse strikes, if it strikes at all. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it does, but sometimes
this could be the beginning of it striking.
Patrick Mahomes won his Super Bowl when he had the Madden cover.
So we'll see how this turns out. But yeah, Stephon Diggs being a no-show, that's unbelievable, because like seemingly like it's just because he's already gotten paid. People forget, like he already got extended last year.
Mm-hmm.
So this is solely where, like, he's just frustrated with the team again.
Yep. This is solely about the team. Like I said, he will not be a Bill. I said this after the Bengals game. He won't be a Bill anymore.
So here's the follow-up. Like, what team is willing to jump on that grenade?
Cowboys.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Cowboys right now. If I'm the Cowboys, I'm making the phone call and saying, what do you want? And in all honesty, if I'm the Bills, we want Pollard. Pollard for Diggs straight up.
But then they have no running back on Dallas.
Yeah, like
no
I know.
And that's the risk you like. That is going to be the.
They still have one CeeDee Lamb and a healthy Michael Gallup.
Would you call New York Stephon Diggs to take one?
Okay. Giants is my other one, but I have wanted Barkley. I've wanted Barkley for a while, and I've thought that's the most likely scenario.
Barkley also still no showing sign of tech.
Yeah, no, I think Barkley is. If Barkley is not a Giant, he's going to be a Bill. The relationship between the coaches, it's a different conference. It's all there for him to do it. And I could see them going here, Diggs for Barkley, probably a straight up, if
that's
not maybe
fairly straight trade.
Yeah, I think it could be a straight up, and then Barkley gets the and then we give him. I think we'd have to give him probably not what he wants, but it would. I reckon it would be an extended contract rather than, hey, we'll like I think it would be 4 years slightly less rather than 2 years more. Does that make I think that's kind of where they would go instead. Right.
Yeah. So we'll see how this whole Stephon Diggs thing shakes out. Rue, I'm actually glad you're here for this next story. There has been a lot of talk surrounding a certain Washington player. Chase Young has been the subject of a lot of trade rumors. Now, we talked about how his fifth-year option was already declined. Now, look, this is a guy who, again, when he's on the field, he's an absolute game changer. Preface it that when he's on the field.
Yeah.
So, Rue, do you think that Washington Chase Young will part ways?
No, not this year.
Not
I don't
this
think
year.
so. Nah. Rivera has some pretty good sway on that team. You don't have Snyder doing Snydery things, which was beautiful. The best fucking news to come in my lifetime of sports in a long time. But Ron is fairly transparent and fairly conservative in terms of moving people. He was honest. Said Chase was not having a great year when he was there before he got injured. This is the year that he needs to show out. And who better to show out with than that defensive line that he has there? Tez on the other side, Duran just had the same thing last year. They didn't extend him. He showed out. He got paid. So Chase Young is also loved in that locker room. Like captain first year out, he is rooting for everybody. Offense, defense, special teams. He wants to show out. He wants to get back out there and prove that our D-line is the best D-line in the league. And the only way to do that is with him.
Shut up, Matt.
It's with him.
This isn't a Browns thing, I promise.
What he does. I look, Sweat, Payne, Allen, and Young.
Yeah, that's
That
scary.
is not a top 3 D line in the league. I don't
No,
know.
I'm not shaking your head at the D-line comment. I'm shaking a head at the general lack of forgetting what normally happens when you get a new sports owner. So for those who don't know about it, I know Jacob's going through this with the Phoenix Suns right now. Normally, an owner decides to clean house and make some dumbass decisions. You already had that contract going off the books. Okay, let's be honest. Ron Rivera probably going to get let go after the season. Whoever the GM is probably going to get let go because the new owner is going to want his guys in there. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what Chase Young does, because everybody at that point is going to be on the block because every GM wants to build a team in their own image. So,
But here's the thing.
That's why I said this year. He's not going anywhere this year.
So, and I agree with that. Unless the team is just absolutely free falling, which they're a tough team to predict this year. I do have them finishing 4th in their division. However, they have a lot of really good young pieces on that team. And I don't see, this is a team that's going to put up a lot of fight. I love McLaurin. That D-line, as you said, is fantastic. You've got you've got Robinson, who is, after what he went through last year, I love him as a running back. There is a lot to like. The biggest question mark, obviously, is quarterback. But the thing is that the pieces that you just mentioned, Rue, those are not the issues. And almost every name you mentioned is either on a rookie deal or is not on a high contract. So it's tough to say that they outright clean house while they're on these low contracts.
Yeah.
There is also very much I could see the Caleb Williams in all of this.
Mm-hmm.
There are 3 or 4 teams that are going to be going after Caleb Williams this year. Somehow the Cardinals have 2 of the picks.
well, let's be honest. The Texans did get a lot better. I don't expect that to be a top 3 pick.
I do. I definitely expect it to be a top.
That division is just bad all around. I think because
I know, but they have a
the division.
Jaguar-sized hole. There's a Jaguar-sized domination coming that I
Okay, but that's still 4 other games you could win, like the Colts and the Titans.
I don't know if Chance has this on the docket, but Hopkins is visiting the Titans next week. If Hopkins,
I did
No,
not.
he already visited. He
Yeah, I
visited
think he already
already.
did that.
Oh, yeah. So say that happens. Say that does happen. I don't, and that's to be determined. But say that happens, their stock goes up. They go above the Colts at that point.
My question: who's their quarterback?
We don't know.
Tannehill.
Their stock stays the same.
So, but at the same time, we have watched Hopkins go with very mediocre quarterback play and change games.
Hopkins didn't really pop off to what he did until one Deshaun Watson. That is just a fact. All of his Pro Bowl years came with Deshaun Watson.
Except that one was
Also-
Kyler Murray.
Also, a top tier wideout over the age of 30 going to the Titans. Where have I seen this before? Oh yeah, Julio Jones, and his career got derailed. So
Julio was way on his downside, though, at that point. Hopkins, yes, I think he's gone past the hump, but he's not nearly to the point that Julio was.
So yeah, we'll see what the future holds from Young. I see a lot of Steelers rumors, and look, I'll give you a third for Chase Young. Take it or leave it.
the Cleveland Browns would like to offer their second.
Nice.
All right. Next up, a player that you do not have to trade anything to get. Remarkably, Dalvin Cook has been released. This is
Again.
I was a little shook when I saw this story. I'm like, really? This is the
Again,
answer.
this is just
The
this
writing
is
was
just
all
a
on the
pure
wall.
I mean,
They
yeah,
were
it was.
posting their social media accounts like a month ago. Like they've actually, this was not a shock to me because of what they've been saying. Now I get what you're saying in that, he's still, if you're ranking the running backs in the league, I would say on the top half of the running back side. So yes, this is like a premier running back who's becoming available, which is kind of crazy. But at the same time, the Vikings in a way are like, we need to sort of blow up the old system. We have our young pieces, but they got to get rid of the old stuff. And this is part of that.
All right, I'm gonna throw it to Haas real quick. Haas, if you had to take a guess, where do you think Dalvin Cook lands next season?
I don't know. The Bills are desperate. I could see him possibly going to the Bills. He wouldn't be a terrible fit in Miami.
That's
Miami's the one
Anchor
I
a little
thought of.
bit, anchor a little bit of leadership there. Honestly, if I had to say, I'd probably say Miami would be my top choice for him.
Miami's
Miami's
my
not a bad
fear.
pick.
Miami is
Oh, but
one.
for you, yes. Like
Yeah,
for you,
Miami's
like,
my fear. Miami is my big fear that he's gonna go to Miami. The other one that I think is a possible is, I think as an FU is Green Bay.
Yeah, but
I
It'd
think
be really weird
They
because
got a
They're
log
really
jam already.
weird.
but it gives it takes
I mean,
a lot more.
the
of
real
pressure off
FU would be the
Jordan.
Bears and the Lions.
Mm.
I'd love to see
But I'm
both
going to
of
it
those.
takes a bit of the pressure off Jordan Love to be the one to have to completely throw the ball every single play. Like I know you've got Jones, but then you've also got it. You'll have a second one in.
You already have a second one in
You make
AJ
them
Dillon.
yellow, too.
Mhm.
Yeah, you got
Yeah, true.
That would be three. I don't think Green Bay's a possibility.
Yeah.
The Dolphins one that's real. I think that's a legitimate chance that happens. Because
He just wants to will that out of existence. That's the reason he's saying. That's the reason he's saying
Look-
Green Bay. He wants to will that out of
Look,
existence.
well, like Dalvin Cook, the first thing he tweeted after he got released was a picture of him dancing in Miami Stadium.
Yeah.
I think, look, and the other thing, the biggest story out of all of this is just, again, the complete and utter disrespect for the running back position. It's just,
Yes, that's what I wanted to get to.
absolutely.
Did he freeze?
He did. Yes, he
Yes,
did.
he did.
All right. So here, I'll take it. So, as someone who has a premier running back, this has just made me scared because at the end of the day, the Titans were looking to trade Derrick Henry, couldn't find a partner, so decided to keep him. The Vikings were trying to find a partner for Dalvin Cook, couldn't do it, so they cut him. The Cowboys this past season decided, you know what, let's cut bait on Zeke, even though we gave him this giant deal.
Doesn't have. He's a free agent.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
look, they tried to try him at center, but Didn't work.
Well, think about it. Think about this. Think about all the free agent running back names on the market. You have Zeke, Dalvin Cook, Kareem Hunt. The list goes on. James Robinson just got cut by the Patriots today. The list just keeps growing and growing because you have these younger guys with fresher legs who can come in and possibly do the same thing at almost as an efficient rate.
And here there is a bigger picture though to this as well. Is right now, if you're in high school, who the hell's becoming a running back?
Yeah, you want to play wide receiver.
Yeah, you'll learn. You'll like growing up. You're gonna. So we could go 10 years, 10, 15 years from now. The running back might not be a position in NFL anymore.
Especially
Because-
if
We're gonna be the anti-50s.
Yeah, but like we don't have them because quarterbacks are kind of taking the position, but also there's just players. The talent's just not there because players don't want to develop the skill because, well, I'm going to be paid peanuts for 4 years.
You're the Honda Civic of football. No.
Get a franchise tag that's worthless because there isn't that high of a paid running back. Get a second franchise tag that's going to be just as worthless, and then get released because there'll be a kid that's just come through in draft day that they can pick up for a third or a fourth. Who's going to want to do it?
Jim Brown is seeing this and he is rolling in his grave.
I was just about to say, rest in peace, Jim Brown.
Like
It's sucks because that's why Saquon's holding out because he wants to get his respect. Because let's face it, running back doesn't get respect. I agree with you, Jacob, and that's why I think we're gonna start seeing a situation. And I pray Nick. It sucks, but I pray Nick Chubb is the domino where when running backs get on that last year of a deal, they just agree to an extension to just take whatever money they can and smooth it out because otherwise you're going to start seeing all these top tier running backs on the market and no one's going to want to pay them at all.
But then you look at what has been the one position the Bills have missed over the last 5 years.
Running back, and I agree with
They've
you.
needed a running back because it is a needed position. It is something that it is not something that can just be replaced by a 6'5" tank of a quarterback. Like you just can't do it. You need to have a running back. It is part of the game. And so what? We could be going 5-10 years from now where this is a real problem the NFL seriously needs to look at and the Players Association needs to look at and actually really start supporting and going, hey, you can't keep doing this. Like, even if it's a way of going, you can't franchise tag running backs. Like that drastic of a measure where we start moving into that.
Bizarre.
It would take another lockout.
Yeah, it would take another lockout for that to happen.
Because the NFLPA is the one who's going to have to push that, and the league, being the league, because it's run by a ton of rich white men, will say hell no.
Yeah.
No
as a
offense to them.
6'5", as a 6'5" tank myself, I agree 100% with what Jacob is saying. I just had this conversation with my brother last week when we went to the Angels game. It's like I foresee in 10 years too, if this current trend is the way that it is, the running back will still be a position, but it will just pretty much be a non-factor.
It'll be fullback.
Yeah, exactly.
What the fullback is right now.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's exactly
sure,
what it
actually.
is. Those 6'5" tanks are going to be put at fullback, and they're just going to basically serve as goal line rush or blocking.
Be a sad day because like when teams can run the ball efficiently, God, it's exciting. It's so cool to see these guys pop off for like 100, 200-yard games. Like it's something, man. It's just sad. We might not have seen that anymore.
You won't be sad because that means Nick Chubb won't be doing Run Your Steelers anymore.
I mean, he really does that now.
But that's like the fact that, 3 years ago, Derrick Henry had one of the greatest seasons we've ever seen from a running back in modern history, and you can't even get a fifth or a sixth for him right now.
No, you could probably get that. The issue is the team
will take
wants more.
they won't take it. You can get Derrick Henry for a 6. They just won't take it.
Mm-hmm.
All
And
right,
that's the issue because other teams don't value a play the same that you might, and that's why trades are just a pain in the ass sometimes.
Yeah.
All right, and last thing we're talking about right now, the Broncos have signed a new player, and if they beat the Chiefs this year, this is the reason, because former Chiefs defensive end Frank Clark has signed with the Denver Broncos. I mean, it makes sense. Fills a need, fills a veteran presence for that defense, and also Draymond Jones, who was one of the best defenders last year, left for greener pastures in Seattle. Can't believe I just said those words, but it did happen. So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting that Frank Clark, as being released, would go and sign with another AFC West team. Like this is a petty move. This might be the pettiest move of the offseason.
Oh yeah.
Realistically, I think that comes down to one reason, and that reason is Sean Payton. They talked about the mutual respect they had for one another, for Clark respecting him as a coach and Payton respecting Clark as a player. And honestly, it makes a ton of sense. He's a Super Bowl winning coach. He's a defensive-minded coach. So at the end of the day, is it petty? Yeah. But I'd rather be petty and go to a coach who I know is proven than go to someone who isn't.
Yeah. So I want to poll the crowd real quick. Is Broncos country going to be riding this year?
No.
No.
They improve, but they don't win the division or anything like that.
They improve
I think
simply
won't
because the Raiders suck.
trying to make the playoffs, and I think, but by the end of the season, the Russell Wilson guaranteed Hall of Famer conversation is done and dead. He has to, at that point, he will have to win another Super Bowl to get into the Hall of Fame.
So like even if they notch like 12 wins, don't make the playoffs, you're still riding that.
You're not
Yeah.
going to knock 12 wins and miss the
But
playoffs.
12 wins isn't making the playoffs. Sorry. 10 wins this season will make the playoffs.
I think so too.
All right. So that's it for our news stories we have. So for our main event, our big segment, I actually have a little video practice prepared. Hopefully this goes through because my internet's been a little spotty, but I do have a little video package to prelude what it is we're going to be doing right now.
Junior double triple, junior double whopper, junior double triple, junior double whopper.
Not only get torture Mike with that, I get torture the rest of you.
I look forward to the lawsuit.
Brilliant.
Yes. What we are doing is we are going to describe every single NFL franchise with a movie franchise. So let me just pull up our little spreadsheet right here. So yeah, we got a list of every franchise right here. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about the defining traits of said franchise, and we are going to pair them with a movie franchise based on what we know about them. Pretty simple. If it's, a fan, and luckily we have literally every single person on this panel is a fan of a different team, so we can get a little more, insight from the actual, from the actual fans, from the people who know the franchise, who know the team, know the history. Maybe they can guide us to, some more informed picks. So let's just not waste any time. Let's go. Let's start with the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, Jacob, you're kind of a Cardinals fan.
So can I just give you what I thought why I picked the movie that I picked for this?
Sure, why not? What you got?
Yeah. So I said Michael Bay's Transformers.
Interesting.
Oh, shit. I have that for another one.
I have that for another one.
On paper, these should be awesome. All the pieces are there, but when it all comes together, it's just a disaster.
That's fair. I mean, that's fair.
I second that. That's beautiful.
See, for me, for this one, when I think Arizona Cardinals, I think old. I think retirement. I think where careers go to die. I think it's a bunch of people, old guys past their prime, trying to relive the glory days minus the glory.
Oh, God, I know where you're going with this.
So for me, this is the Expendables.
Yeah. That's pretty
Yeah,
good.
I can see it.
So,
Rui,
question:
you gotta say something?
Are we doing one? Once we choose a franchise, a movie franchise, we can't use that anymore. I'm assuming.
Correct. Yes.
because I would not put Transformers here for the
Not-
Cardinals because there's another team that's perfect for the Transformers.
Yeah,
don't
I
mind
got a
the
good one for Transformers too.
I don't mind the Expendables.
I'm happy with Expendables. I think that works.
Yeah, I'm good with that too. I was going to suggest Sex in the City because nobody wants to see these old has-been ladies continue to have their sexual romps on screen, but the Expendables also works just as well.
That is true. Okay, so I like Sex in the City. Okay, we're going Expendables, Sex in the City.
Expendables.
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 We're not gonna be that cool. We'll go Expendables. All right, Atlanta Falcons. Let's discuss. What are some defining traits of the Atlanta Falcons? I mean, masters of the choke, that's for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what movie franchise just brings you up just to tear you down at the end every single time?
It's a good
What would
question.
Can't say Rocky. That was only the first film.
James Bond. Every time they start
I have
good.
Rocky for something else.
No, I'm saving
I
Bond
got
for
Rocky
something else.
All right, Bond for something
Yeah,
else.
I,
All right, we need a franchise that builds hope just to rip it to shreds.
Jeepers Creepers.
They're also
I got
Human Centipede.
No, I was going to say the Hunger Games because the
Oh, that's
Hunger
not
Games
bad actually.
brings you up with the first two and then just gives you that last two movies and just downer. So
My only thing is Atlanta is very flashy, like extremely
Yes.
flashy,
Okay.
extremely likable. They look great on paper, and for me, that's Pirates.
Ooh,
Pirates of
that's
the
not
Caribbean.
bad. That's a good one.
I have
Actually,
Pirates for
Pirates,
another
I'll
game.
give you Pirates. I'll give you Pirates.
I'll give you Pirates.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
All right, Pirates of the Caribbean. We've settled. Oh my god. I feel like there's only one R in Caribbean. There we go.
Correct.
All right, the Baltimore Ravens. Now, here, okay, I'll ask Rue and Matt this: is this the blackest franchise in the NFL? Because I think there are a couple.
It's between this and the one a couple
This-
down to me.
Yeah, it's like this is the Raiders, right?
No. There was another one.
No.
There's a third one. I also think the Panthers are fairly.
I agree with you.
Okay.
I'd say the
That's-
Panthers are the
I'm
blackest.
asking, like, do we go with the black franchise for this one? So, but that's no.
No, that has to go to the Raiders. No matter where
Yeah,
you go.
there's my other thought. So, like, when I think of Baltimore Ravens, I think of, as again, Matt, you probably attest as an AFC North fan. I think of just like so players who are just unrelenting, and who are just absolute loudmouths. So we need a franchise that fits that aggressive mentality.
That's the Fast and the Furious franchise right
I
there.
was going there. I was also going there.
That's not bad actually. Fast and Furious is a good pick.
I was gonna see. Okay, well, yeah, Fast.
I had
Fast
another
and
team
Furious
for Fast,
coming up.
but yeah.
I had another one for Fast, which would kind of would be a little bit. I have to explain
We
a
can
little
also like circle back of like we saw.
Yeah,
like,
I wouldn't mind
let's
going back and
circle
saying
back
if
to
you
this.
want to
Sure.
switch things or not.
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
so we want to circle back to Baltimore.
Yeah, let's circle
Yeah.
back. That's cool.
Okay.
Alright.
Buffalo Bills. I think I have the perfect one for this
Okay.
because the Buffalo Bills to me. Okay, look, Buffalo Bills always historically pretty good. They made 4 straight Super Bowls and lost all 4 of them. Buffalo Bills to me are a franchise who, no matter how good they are, someone is doing it better. So I think the Buffalo Bills are How to Train Your Dragon.
Ooh,
It's kind of a knockout of How to Train Your Dragon, though.
that's a good one. Okay, okay. I was going with the cursed mentality because the Bills are cursed.
That's fair.
And the franchise that is the most cursed is Fast and Furious.
Is that the most cursed
Sorry.
franchise?
Fast and Furious.
No,
Every
that is
single
not the
time.
most cursed.
There are 3 times in history that Fast and Furious has tried to have a back-to-back year of movies, and every single time it's had to be delayed because of some awful thing.
Oh, that's fair. you got a point there. Still, though. Okay,
And that's
so we
what,
got,
like,
so on
so
the table.
it killed an act. So Fast and Furious killed an actor because they tried to do back-to-back, and it caused COVID. Because they tried to have F9 and Hobbs and Shaw go back to back, and they went, no, you can't do
Too
that.
much.
You can't do that. So you have to have a year off, and that's what caused COVID.
Okay, so the two that have been thrown out are How to Train Your Dragon and Fast and Furious.
I prefer
I'm going with How to Train Your Dragon.
Will Smith, I'm saying How to
If you
Train
want
Your
to
Dragon.
go cursed, though, if you want to go cursed, the DCEU seems pretty ahead of
Yeah.
I think there's a better one for DCU, and I'll get to that later.
Okay, I almost threw that out, Rogue. That was on the tip of my tongue too, because I was like, well, like that just never has had a chance, and neither has the Bills. So
Okay, so we got DCU, Fast and Furious, and How to Train Your Dragon on the table. Matt, what do you
I'm happy
think?
with How to Train Your Dragon.
I voted How to Train Your Dragon.
And Mike, what do you
I'm
think?
okay with that.
All right, so we'll go How to Train Your Dragon. Because no matter how good you are, someone is always stealing your thunder,
Yeah.
and it happens every time. And this one hit me like a ton of bricks last night. I'm just like, holy shit, it's kind of right. All right, Carolina Panthers. I think this is a franchise that people don't really think much of. I think the franchise we picked should represent that in a way.
They were hot shit at the beginning, right?
They were.
And then
They
just
came out of the gate.
went away. Nobody remembered them. And for me, I have two franchises. One that is actually pretty good, and another one that's just shit. And it's either Divergent or The Maze Runner.
I would go
I
Maze
was
Runner.
thinking Maze Runner because at least they were good movies at one point.
Yes.
I was gonna say Blade.
No. No. Blade is too good for that. Way too good for that.
Nah,
I would-
but
I would- I would say
three.
Maze Runner.
yeah, Maze Runner's good.
All right. Wow, I cannot fucking spell today. Shit. All right. Chicago Bears. It's a team that had one great heyday in the 80s and has failed to recapture the glory ever since.
So I said this for a different franchise in our chat, but this is 100% correct. It's Jurassic Park. It has one fantastic moment, and then everything else is shit.
No
You see-
way. The Chicago Bears are totally Police Academy. They were only good in the 80s.
You know
Oh, I
what?
like that. I like that.
I like that one. And you use Jurassic Park for the other one because it's 90s.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I like that one.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Predator, but I like Marks more, so we'll go Police Academy.
I agree with that.
All right, but yeah, either way, only good in the 80s, and then they became whatever it is they are now. All right, the Cincinnati Bengals.
This one's tough.
What's a
How did the
franchise?
Bengals
Okay, we
start?
have franchises that started off bad and only just started being good.
No, you respect as an AFC fan. Respect the Carson Palmer years. Respect Iggy.
No.
What
did
yes.
What did Carson Palmer do?
Hey, it's not his fault. He had Marvin Lewis holding him back.
I think this one would be like a solid for Transformers because like they just had like years and years and years of futility and only are now show some promise.
You again, you can't treat the Bengals that way though. Like
Yeah,
they're better than that.
they were still contenders for years, like playoff contenders for years. You can't ignore that.
So
All right,
my thought, though I don't know if it would work out for the beginning of this movie franchise, but it definitely hits for the end or for right now. And for me, it's Spider-Man. Especially because of the run they have right now, how hot they are. It just doesn't fit for Spider-Man.
I've got one that kind of
So
goes.
I
with
get
what
that
Matt-
though, Rue,
it
because
kinda
you get a
works
couple of good ones, you get a couple of stinkers, you get a couple of good ones. Yeah.
Okay,
Jacob, what were you saying?
I've got one. Mad Max.
Yes, that is
Yeah.
They are
100%.
nailing. It's being
Yeah,
nailed
actually.
now. But like it was a little weird earlier. It wasn't horrifically bad, but I mean beyond is. But like there was still some little good errors.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
Yeah, actually, I will condemn Mad Max. After hearing it, I will condemn Mad
I like
Max.
that.
Sure, I'm good with that.
All right, we'll go Mad Max.
All right. Okay, Matt, you do yours, and then I'm gonna do mine that will get you to want to kill me.
So how can you describe a franchise that started off as one of the best in the league, but has just been a joke ever since? Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
First film, great. The sequel, not great. The prequel, not great.
Even worse.
So,
Somehow even worse.
yeah.
The prequel is amazing. You bite your tongue.
No.
Just listen to my justification, please. Phase 4 of the MCU. Coasting on the greatness of what came before, that is no longer there because the Browns aren't they're the Ravens, and a little too close and comfortable with a sexual predator.
Oh.
No.
Wow.
Wait, who's
No.
the predator in phase 4?
Wow.
Tenacorta.
He barely counts.
So, I mean, he's not a predator. I guess he's just an abuser.
Yeah, he was also not in phase 4. Okay, well, he was. He was in that one.
Allegedly, and he's vehemently denying.
Vehemently denied.
Vehemently. Okay, here's my thought on the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns, to me, are a franchise who seems to be under constant reboot. No matter what you do, you every time you have a little bit of promise, it gets dashed just as quickly. So my thought for the Cleveland Browns was Halloween. Like, you have to keep every couple of years, you got to restart, and then when that fails, you got to restart again, and when that fails, you got to restart again.
Since when did it have promise? We haven't had promise since the early 90s, sir.
That'd be nice.
We just started having promise again. Like,
So Matt, you threw out Dumb and Dumber. Does anybody have anything better than that?
I
actually really don't hate the Halloween one because I think it actually works.
So we got Dumb and Dumber and Halloween. Are the two?
I'd go Halloween.
I'd go Halloween too.
We're leading up the Browns fans. You can't even match your franchise right, Matt. What the hell's wrong with you?
I didn't know because the reason why I go Halloween is because I don't think Dumb and Dumber ever really truly gets the just constantness. Like how Dumb and Dumber hasn't really ever felt like a constantness.
fair.
It's fair. Okay, so are we all good with Halloween?
Yeah,
cool.
I'm fine with it.
All right, Matt. Okay, mainly Matt, are you cool with it? Just because this is your.
I said I'm fine with it.
All right.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I'll live with it.
All right. Now, Dallas Cowboys, if you allow me to step on my soapbox as a former native Texan. See, the Dallas Cowboys to me are always a franchise that have great promise, fall short of expectations every single time. But the most defining trait of the Dallas Cowboys to me is the fan base. A fan base that no matter how many times they fall short, no matter how many times they prove they are not it, they will insist nothing's wrong and everyone else is the problem.
Snyderverse?
I know where you're going with this.
Are the Snyderverse.
Yeah.
Yep.
I like it.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
We have a winner.
All
No
right.
one can argue against it.
Okay. Here is why I like Mike's one though. So Mike, you say yours.
I said originally in our chat, I said Jurassic Park because it had one moment of greatness in the 90s and has disappointed ever since.
It's not
I
bad.
don't think
It's not bad.
Snyderverse ever had that. I don't think Snyderverse sums up that moment of greatness.
Okay, so Snyderverse.
Man of Steel exists.
Exactly. Man of
Yeah.
Steel exists.
True. Yeah, true.
No, Snyderverse
Okay,
is
so-
good. I like that actually.
Yeah,
So
no, I think
Snyderverse, Jurassic
Snyderverse.
Park.
Yeah, Snyderverse, I
Snyderverse.
think.
All right, cool. All right, Denver Broncos. See, I think this is
Ooh,
actually not a
actually,
bad
I-
for Jurassic Park.
I was about to say
No,
this
I
is
think
Jurassic
I
Park.
think Fast and Furious works on this one
Does it? Why's that?
because when the franchise is starting to fail, they'll bring in some A-lister to come in and save the franchise,
Oh shit!
then-
Yeah.
and then
That's a nice
and
argument.
then someone within
Yeah.
and then someone within the franchise will blow that up because out of ego.
So here's the one caveat I'll have for that is just because I remember Denver Broncos were great when they were great, and
Yes.
maybe it doesn't have the like star that comes in and reboots it, but it has something that kind of comes in when it's dying and it reboots it. And for me, that's the X-Men. They were great, and then they die, and then they were great, and then they die again, and they've been pretty shit fairly recently. So kind of similar. Kind of similar, just in different ways. That's where
Yeah.
my head went.
I gotta go with X-Men. Actually, that
Yeah,
is
I
a
like
very
X-Men.
valid
Always
argument.
tails off.
Yeah. Okay. So Haas, what do you think? X-Men?
Yeah, you know what? I was sold on Jacob with Fast and Furious, but Rue made a compelling case with the X-Men. They have been shit lately, so yes, we're gonna go with the X-Men.
All right. So does that mean we now flip Fast and Furious to Baltimore, since we discussed that earlier?
Yep, I think
Yeah.
so.
I'm fine with that.
All right, Fast and Furious. Okay. So the Detroit Lions.
I got one.
Okay. What you got? Mike?
This is Major League. Because
Oh,
constantly your ragtag underdog team who somehow becomes and right now is the most beloved team in the league. This is your lovable group of underdogs. This is the Major League franchise sums up the Detroit Lions right now.
it's like the inverse of what's going on because like they just became the ragtags. There's only 2 Major League films that came out in theaters, and
But you can't forget
Second one ain't great.
Back to the Minors came out in theaters.
it did. I thought it was straight to VHS.
Okay, no,
Oh
back
no,
in my
that
world,
came out in
okay.
theaters. It bombed.
I'm old enough to admit that I went and saw that movie in theaters.
I did not see it in theaters, but I watched it on my television every time it was on because I love that film.
It's a fantastically bad movie.
Yes, it is.
Dude, it's a horrible movie. I'll absolutely go along with Major League for this. I think that's actually quite brilliant. The Detroit Lions are the Cleveland Indians right now of the NFL. Yep.
All right, so Major League.
Guardians, sir. Guardians. I don't want to hear that other name.
The Green Bay Packers.
I think this one has to be that this is James Bond.
Yes.
Really?
Yep,
They've
that's
always
perfect.
nailed the
It's
leading
consistent,
man.
but never finishes.
No. They've nailed the leading man, except for a weird period in the 80s, but have never been able to. But everything else around them just doesn't work half the time.
That's fair. That's actually very fair. See, my thought on this was The Godfather because they're like well respected, all consistent, but can never close when it really matters.
Oh, I have one for The Godfather.
Okay, but like I do like the James Bond pick. Does anybody else have anything better?
I think James Bond, I actually agree with a lot. Similar to what Jacob said. It's never here. I look at it this way: it's never won the Oscar. It's not a Best Picture contender, but hey, it's consistent most of the time, and
I was more going for it. The thing about the Packers more is for the last 30 years they've had a quarterback, and the thing about Bond is maybe Roger Moore. There's never been a bad Bond.
I'll defend Roger Moore. Like he's actually not bad until he gets like super old.
Chance, I'm never going to defend a racist.
That's true. That's fair. I forgot he was racist. Who are you, Roger Moore? All right.
Okay, I have a good one for the Houston Texans.
Let's hear it, Haas. Go ahead.
It's the Twilight franchise. They have flash and sparkle, but they're always terrible. It's the Twilight franchise.
Done. Over.
Yeah. Cut the check.
You got it.
good.
Perfect.
So my
Seinfeld
one with the Texans links off to another franchise because it's about how much they're trying to copy them.
See, I do like. I get
like
that, but I don't quite think of because I'll spoil it now. It is the Patriots. I don't quite think of the Patriots. I think he's Texans. I like Haas's reasoning. So
I like Haas. Yeah.
All right, Twilight. Indianapolis Colts. This is a tough one to nail.
Ooh, yeah.
Is there any franchise that have screwed over a major city? Is this Jurassic Park? I know Manning was 2000s, but you had like that one great era. Oh well, no, I guess you had the whole Johnny Unitas thing. He kind of defined the quarterback position.
I would say Unitas was there. Have some history, but just the epitome of mediocrity.
Yeah. So we need a franchise that has good, solid foundation, good bones, but overall pretty mid.
I mean, it also is apropos. Indiana Jones.
Ooh.
Really, really great beginning and it's always there, but then you forget about it a little bit and you forget how like
Until
not
it comes
great-
back.
Yeah, you forget about how not great like some of the movies are. I mean, they're good, they're okay, but they have like the history at the beginning and that second spark afterwards. But then it's just like, I guess.
Yeah, but there's like one bad Indiana Jones.
Just
Good.
yeah,
From the
Mr.
sound
Temple of
Temple of
Doom
Doom.
is Temple of Doom is Temple of Doom. It's a lot.
I like Temple of Doom.
What about like American Pie? Everybody loves the original American Pie, and then there was the second. We all went and saw it in theaters, and we were like, eh.
It's
And then there was a
fine.
wedding, and then there was band camp, and
Most people
just
I
kept
know like
going.
American Pie too.
This is probably too like nostalgic and wholesome for the cults. What about the Muppets?
I think it's too wholesome. Too wholesome.
Yeah, no, that's what I think. Like, you know, Muppet movie is a classic, and then 2011 Muppets is great, but in between is a lot of mess.
Hey, no, you shut your face.
Treasure
everything
Island is
except the
a
90s
national
era Muppets is
treasure.
great.
Okay, I have another one. Maybe. Kind of hits the same like nostalgia is always going to get you. You have an actually underrated, really, really good movie in the middle, and just kind of not great, but not horrible. And in the end, it's not Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Ooh, that's good.
it.
I like that.
That's it.
All right, so TMNT.
I'm okay with that. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, cool. We'll go TMNT. Now this is going to be an interesting one. Jacksonville Jaguars. What's the most Florida man franchise we can think of? Because we're not dealing with Miami, we're not dealing with Atlanta. We're dealing with like the dirty, like backwoods, like chasing a junkie with a can of soup level of Florida.
Tremors.
That would be.
Oh,
Wait, what'd you say?
the
Tremors.
Oh, I went Texas Chainsaw.
Not bad.
I was thinking Deliverance, but that's not a franchise.
Yeah.
Right.
Texas Chainsaw ain't bad.
Texas Chainsaw is really not bad because there's not
Yeah.
like every
I like
now
Texas
and
Chainsaw,
then,
actually.
every now and then one will pop up where it's like, oh, that's okay.
Does anybody have anything better than Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
They're tough. That's a tough
I'll
one.
take it. Yeah.
All right, we'll go here. That is Baseball Massacre, right? Yes, it is. Okay, cool. Awesome.
Yes.
Now, Kansas City Chiefs. What's a franchise that's like, again, that just became obnoxiously good?
It has to be like it started okay, has a big dip, and then gets good at the end.
Yeah,
Mission
good, like not just good, obnoxiously good.
Impossible.
Okay,
I'll
know-
let you Mission
actually-
Impossible.
no,
Yeah.
Mission Impossible or Rocky.
Sure.
Mm.
Yep. Rocky Creed
We got
franchise.
another team for Rocky.
If you include like because the Creed franchise right now is fucking good, but
Mhm.
man, there's a few Rocky movies that are rough.
You know what? When you move to America, you better change that fucking attitude, okay? Rocky is great, except for that one. Great all the way through.
No, it's
Okay,
not.
but here's the
He
problem.
is
is it really?
with his motherfucking fists, okay? I don't want to hear this.
Mission Impossible has one bad movie.
One,
Yeah.
just one.
Yeah.
All right, and it's like, and then everything else is like, and
But
then
that's the thing,
three
like-
is
like
like
even- Like one is
The
like
best of
one
them
is
all?
good.
Yes.
One is good. Two is bad. But like one is like good. It's not like great. Like Mission Impossible like has like this incredible like trajectory to where like it's like now like holy fuck. So like I think Mission Impossible is like a pretty good one for this franchise. Does anybody have anything better? Okay, because like I like what Ruru says. Anybody have anything better?
I'm good with that.
From Mission
Yeah.
Impossible.
I don't like the Tom Cruise being assigned to anybody other than the Steelers, but that's okay. That's all right. All right, Las Vegas Raiders. Okay, Rue.
Here's the
Matt.
thing, though. You mentioned Blackest, but I lived in Oxnard, California, who are all straight up Raiders fans. The Raiders are not only black, but they are Latino as hell. They are both simultaneously.
True.
So okay, is this because my thought for the Raiders was Friday? We need like a ghetto, black, grimy franchise.
Friday's good.
See, honestly, if I'm gonna be honest, this is where I would have put Fast and the Furious, because now you've had that.
I don't.
You got that.
I don't disagree. I
Yeah.
don't
Do-
disagree
do-
with
do we
that.
I
take
think
Fast
it
and
is
Furious
bad,
off-
actually.
You take Fast and Furious off of Baltimore and put it
Yeah.
in Vegas.
Okay.
Because like it's that mixed blending, black, Hispanic.
So I would say maybe if we're gonna take you said the Ravens talk a whole bunch of shit, right? So
Yeah.
then for me the Ravens got to be Bad Boys.
Yeah,
Bad
that's a
Boys
good
is good.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Bad Boys is good.
All right. Yeah, but so we're taking Fast and Furious, putting it on the Raiders, and we are putting Bad Boys in place of the Baltimore Ravens. Now, up next, the Chargers. I think my
got
one
one.
for the Chargers is
got
absolutely
one.
perfect. Okay.
Okay,
let's-
I did ask Taylor's opinion on this, but I want to hear.
well, you
yours
know what?
first.
She's not here, so she doesn't get an opinion.
I've got a good one for the Chargers
Okay.
too, but you guys go first.
Okay, we all have one for the Chargers, so we'll all go one at a time. We'll go top to bottom.
It is
For me,
Cars.
wait, what?
Cars.
Oh, Cars ain't bad.
Car franchise, Cars.
You see, I think for this one we need a franchise, because like this is a franchise who, no matter what they have, no matter how much talent they accumulate, they will find a way to fuck it up. Like
Mhm.
they are born into pain. They live in pain. They wither and die in pain. To me, this is Saw. Like I think this is Saw. Jacob, what did Taylor have?
She had Disney Star Wars.
Okay. What's
Because
the reason?
for that reason, no matter because the amount of talent, the amount of everything that happens, the amount of promise that they keep making, and they fuck it up. And that's coming from someone who adores Last Jedi as well. Like, you know, they have these really great bright spots, but no matter what, they just
See, but if I'm doing Star Wars, I'm not separating it by Disney and
yeah, that's
and
the thing. Like,
It's the whole franchise,
okay, but
yeah.
that's see, I came into it more like that with that mentality because I think Disney Star Wars is so far removed. I don't think you can do Star Wars justice because I think you do have to split it from where Star Wars is now compared to what it was in the 70s.
I disagree, but that's someone who's just this big Star Wars historian. I'm just a major Star
I
Wars
also think
fanatic.
Star Wars fits another franchise better, but we'll get into that later. Haas, what is it you think embodies the Chargers?
This is the Legally Blonde franchise.
I want to hear this argument.
I want to hear this.
Well, they have historically been in California, right?
Yeah.
They've always made terrible decisions. They've squandered talent, and eventually, and sometimes they surprise, but it's few and far between.
Oh man, okay,
Just
that's
like the
good.
Legally Blonde franchise.
I have another franchise that matches that criteria. The only thing, and you know what? Maybe it'll work because they move cities so often. But listen to everybody. I was looking at it and I was like, Fantastic Beasts. Where to find them? It's that fairly okay.
It does actually, and we can separate that. 'Cause that's we can take that apart from Harry Potter. It's kind of like
Same
the
thing.
Hobbit. We can take that apart from Lord of the Rings.
Good talent, wasted
Good talent.
potential.
Okay.
Sure.
So we have a lot of franchises on the table. Matt, you have not chimed in. So I think every one of us said something different. So Matt, I'm gonna let you be the deciding factor.
Honestly, I've been sitting here trying to think of one, and I really don't have one. Honestly, I've heard good arguments. I'm trying to think of a film where you're kind of all or a series where it's always the bridesmaid but never the bride. You know what I mean? Because that seems
Yeah.
to be what the Chargers are. So
Alvin the Chipmunks.
I got nothing.
All right, but so based on like what we've thrown out, is there anybody that you're gravitating towards?
I actually agree with the Legally Blonde choice.
Okay,
Good there.
Legally Blonde.
I'm okay with that.
All right. The Los Angeles Rams. Haas, these are your boys. I'm gonna let you get on your fucking soapbox. Go ahead, sir.
This is the Transformers franchise. Occasionally you get a decent season or occasionally you get a decent movie, right? 2007 Transformers, not bad, right? 2 years ago Rams, not bad. One and done. That's always kind of historically how it's been with the Rams. And then when we go through our bad seasons, man, we go through a drought of bad seasons, which is all the Mark Wahlberg Transformers movies, right? Just a drought of horrible, awful movies. The new one, no spoilers, but it was fine. Kind of like most of our seasons, just fine. Like
You're
the
ignoring
Transformers
Bumblebee,
series is-
sir.
Yeah.
You're ignoring the
Bumblebee's
beautiful.
now Bumblebee is the best of the Transformers movies. And that was when we had Kurt Warner, Marshall Falk, Isaac Bruce, Torrey Holt. Like that was the Bumblebee of the Rams, right? That was the good times. That's when Transformers was good. Then again, we went into the Wahlberg movie shortly after that season. So for me, the Rams are the Transformers. You guys duke it out.
I also think that
The
does
Bumblebee
fit.
came out after.
But here's the
Can
thing,
I-
I
can I
think
give-
that also does fit
Well,
the Rams
that's not-
model of flash, pizzazz, and star power. Because look at all the actors you've gotten in the Transformers movies, who are way better than that franchise ever that deserved. So I think it's not bad actually. Does anybody have anything better for the Rams than Transformers?
Not for the Rams. I had it somewhere that the Transformers will go, but no, I don't have anything for the Rams as of now.
Star Trek.
Yes.
What's the
Yes.
reason?
Every now and then, there's that one bright spot, but man, it's few and far between lately.
No
It's
way.
very
There is
inconsistent.
one bad Star Trek movie.
No, there
There's
is not.
plenty
Boss.
of black-
That is a
there-
lie.
There is plenty of bad Star Trek films.
Out of curiosity,
Okay.
Mark, what is the one bad Star Trek film?
Well, Insurrection is god awful.
Yes, it is.
And the original Star Trek movie is
God.
terrible too. The rest of
Yes.
them I can sit through. I can sit through Nemesis.
I mean, I can sit through them. Doesn't mean they're good. I can sit through a lot. Doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Transformers and Star Trek. So I think so again, let's see. Jacob and Matt have already chimed in. Rue, what do you think? Between Transformers and Star Trek, what do you think for the Rams?
I'm leaning towards Star Trek. You do have the flash of star power going in. You have the high highs and the low lows. So for me, Star Trek would go for the Rams.
Okay. Mike, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of going with Rue on this one because Transformers, there's still one or two teams we haven't talked about that I think might be more Transformery. I like where the thought is, but just knowing what we have to come, there's still some very Transformery teams. So I'm going to go with Star Trek.
Okay. So for the I think third time in this show, someone's pick for their own team is overridden.
Yeah, it has not once has it happened yet.
And I feel like those of us that have picked for our own teams put a lot of thought into the franchise that we were going to do it. So yeah, fuck you guys for overriding all of this.
Don't worry. There's still three of us you can override. It's fine. All right, Miami Dolphins. This is one of those franchises that's just there. They had like one great heyday, underachieved as fuck because Dan Marino, maybe the greatest quarterback, never won a Super Bowl. So we need to think of a franchise that kind of embodies, someone who's there. When they're bad, they're really bad. When they're good, they're not great, but they're pretty solid.
But you got to remember they've got the perfect. So that's
Yes,
why
they
I'm
do have
saying
the
Die
That's
Hard.
true.
I'm
Ooh.
going to say Die Hard.
That's good. That's
They've
very
got
good.
the
Actually.
perfect. They've got the perfect, but then everything else has been
Everything
either
else.
mediocre, awful, or good.
Good.
Yeah.
With Avengers,
I like Die Hard.
So
That's-
I was kind of on the same path that Jacob was in terms of like thought process. I went with Jaws because the original is an all-time classic, and then everything
And the original was in the
afterwards has been a
70s,
stinker.
which when the perfect season happened.
And it's a
Yeah,
shark,
but
so it's
that
Florida.
was my mindset. Was you
Yeah.
can't do Dolphins without a perfect. It has to be something that is an all-time classic.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got Jaws or Die Hard. I'm leaning towards Jaws, actually.
Yeah, I'm happy with Jaws.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Jaws.
Right. We'll go Jaws. All right.
Although, couldn't you argue that the Jets, considering they do have a Super Bowl history, are more Jaws than the Dolphins? Because
Ooh, you know what?
they've been pretty
Here's the
shit.
The Jets. I mean, we'll get to that later. Okay, we're gonna scratch that because like the thing is, Jaws has lower lows, and like the Miami Dolphins, like they're still like pretty good seasons. Whereas like Jaws, like like one great season and then just a bunch of absolute garbage after that. I think it's more emblematic of the Jets, but like maybe Mike has a better thing. We'll get to that, but if Mike has a better argument, we find a better friend for the Jets, we will put Jaws back for. Actually, I'll leave it there so I don't forget.
Go Jaws slash
Put an
Die
asterisk
Hard.
by it.
Put slash
We'll
Die Hard.
see what Mike has to say, but like we'll narrow it down to one. But Minnesota Vikings.
It's a tough one to pick.
It's a hard one to nail down because like again, it's kind of like the Bills. They're a team that like they're never like awful except
They're
when
above
they
average.
really are. They're above average, and they're always getting outshined because like again like the Bills, 4 Super Bowls, didn't win a single one.
Jeremy Miller in the chat has a good option. Lethal Weapon.
This is gonna be painful for me.
Maybe
Ooh,
you
that's
gotta.
not
Look, for me, the Vikings. You just got to remember the Carter and Moss era, though. Just how fucking high that era was.
Yeah,
It's such a fun team to watch. Dante Culpepper
We'd love that.
quarterbacking.
That could be pretty good.
So my thought is Harry Potter.
Okay.
Are we going to give him that high distinction though?
No, I
Yeah.
can't do that.
But Harry, yeah, that's fair.
Like I don't think the Vikings ever hit that high a high to be classified with Harry Potter.
Again,
Well, okay,
that
actually, no. What
Moss
about
and
Scream?
Carter
What about
seasons,
Scream?
though,
But what?
like the Randy Moss and Chris Carter, Dante Culpepper seasons were fucking
They
amazing.
were.
Those
They
were
were.
so much fun to watch.
They were amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Like, I don't mind the Harry Potter comparison.
I recall being a zygote and watching like, God damn, Randy Moss was fucking great. Oh man, everyone's
two
kind of
Hall of Famers, and is Culpepper in the Hall of Fame or going to the Hall of Fame? If not,
probably
he's
not.
Still amazing.
I think if Culpepper played now, he would be in that conversation because I think he's like one of those guys like him. Trying to think of who else. Crap, I had someone in my head like Cardell Stewart.
AJ
AJ has a
just
good
said
point there.
Rush Hour.
I've always been
That's actually a
Rush
good
Hour.
choice.
I just
Rush
don't
Hour's
know
not
what
bad.
other people do, but I believe Rush Hour is one of the best comedies ever. So I'm good
But
with that.
like that could be the Chris Carter, Randy Moss era, and then after
Yeah,
that,
I'm good with
like,
Rush Hour.
yeah,
I
Rush
think
Hour.
Rush Hour is not a bad choice.
The only thing is, have the Vikings been trash, utter trash recently? That's the only issue. Because Rush
They're
Hour
trash
3 was
Under
utter
Mike
trash.
Zimmer, yes.
Yeah, Zimmer,
Like,
they
like,
weren't
fucking
pretty good.
So, so do you have anything better than Rush Hour?
I like
All right.
Rush Hour.
No.
All right,
Yeah,
cool.
it's
All
okay.
right, we're
Fun
going
as
there.
hell.
All right, so New England Patriots. And it's funny. Jacob and I literally had the exact same thought for this one, and it pains me to say it. It's Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
They had that
Yeah.
one.
oh,
They had that weird period in the 70s.
damn it.
But then they hit that one
Yeah.
stride in which they
Don't
were
explain it
just
anymore.
kind of-
Just put it in. Just put it in.
You see, that's how I know we're right because I wrote that down and it's like fuck. I hate how correct this is.
Fuck, that's perfect. Just
Okay.
perfect.
New Orleans Saints. This is kind of the same realm like the Panthers or the fucking who else we say? Like the-
Saints won a Super Bowl though, haven't they?
They did.
Yeah, the Saints at least won a Super Bowl.
And,
The
and
onside
wasted the career of like one of the all-time great quarterbacks.
What's an actor whose career has been wasted in a franchise, but had one good one?
That's a good question. I'm shocked we can't think of one right now. Oh, is this The Hobbit?
No.
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 No. Yeah, no.
All
This
right,
is
fair
the hangover.
enough.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
Yep. This is the hangover.
Okay. I like the Hangover. Anybody got anything else?
That's fair.
Plus for New Orleans.
Also, yeah, I was just gonna say fitting for New Orleans.
Right.
All right. The New York Giants. Keep in mind,
There've been some low lows here.
there've been some really high highs, but there's been some very low lows.
Yeah,
Well, do you
'cause,
want to, how about make this Nightmare?
Hmm.
I was gonna say a horror franchise, maybe even Friday the 13th.
Right, 13.
Yeah,
Real
or Friday the 13th.
But I think the highs for New York are really high, and I don't think any of the Friday the 13th are particularly good. So
But
I'm
that's why I
comfortable
think
giving
Nightmare
them
works because
Nightmare on
Nightmare
Elm
1 and New Nightmare are high mood.
Nightmare 3
Like,
is really
the-
good too. I like Nightmare 3.
Okay, but then there's the
Yeah.
lows. Like
Yeah, exactly.
there's really bad lows.
Okay. Quick, same thought process. But what about Scream?
Oh,
Oh,
I don't
Yes.
think Scream.
Yes.
my thing
Okay.
is, I don't think Scream hits like a ton of lows except for 3.
The bottom on 3 is not
Yes.
the bottom of the Giants.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Cool.
but I like where your head's at.
Hmm.
All right,
Mike,
New York Jets, Mike. The floor is yours.
Right. So what I came up with this is the 80s and 90s Batman movies, and I'll explain. You have the original Super High, which is, the Namath team. It gets really fucking weird, with Rex Ryan and the Batman Returns. And then it comes utter shit with Schumacher. So that's why I say the Batman movie.
See, but here's the thing: if we're not splitting up Star Wars, we can't split up Batman. Like,
But
Well, I mean,
that's
but those are kind of in the same continuity, though.
But it's a quadrilogy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a separate quadrilogy.
yeah, and then like Michael
Is it-
Gus.
is
Michael
it now
Gus
though?
Alfred,
Is
I
it
think
now?
it's Alfred.
We're opening up the multiverse. All these things are connected now. Keep that in mind.
So
We
are
touched that,
those
we're
separate
fucked.
universes now? We're getting really weird here. But okay, so 80s, 90s Batman. I don't hate that. I don't hate
either.
no, I don't either.
Does anybody have anything better?
I'm still sticking with Jaws here because let's be honest, they had the Super Bowl and they've been shit ever since, and that's why you had to go for an over the hill Aaron Rodgers.
At the same time though, the great season of Jets was never that great because Joe Namath was leading the charge and he was maybe the most overrated quarterback of all time aside from Tom Brady. But
I mean, Michael Keaton and Joe Namath, like they're kind of there on the same level. I guess.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind the Burton Schumacher era.
well, congratulations, Mike. You're the first one to throw
I got it.
you can get it right. I feel like that's not how you spell Schumacher. I think it's an H.
not.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
it's CH. Yeah.
I used to get paid to do this. I used to get paid to know these things. All right, there we go. And so are you doing Dolphins, Die Hard, or Jaws? I think Die Hard because I think they've had like better success, and the Die Hard movies are like the sequels at least are better
Higher.
than the lows
I agree
of
with that.
Jaws. So we'll
Yeah.
Die Hard with Miami. All right, Philadelphia Eagles.
Look,
I mean,
It's ironic, but I don't think
sucks.
this is Rocky.
yeah, it really sucks that Rocky doesn't fit here. Like, it
Yeah.
really sucks.
Doesn't here's the thing, doesn't it though? Think about it. That first Rocky movie keeps getting there to the end of the line and then doesn't finish. Then the second one he does finish. I mean,
And then Creed didn't
Yeah,
finish.
he loses his title in the third one. This is the Rocky. This is the Rocky movies because they lost to the Steelers. They beat Tom Brady. And then they just lost this past year, even though they fought back. Like, come on, this is the Rocky movies.
Look, yeah, I could see it be like if you want to put it as Rocky, sure.
I mean, the
It's
thing
a
is, like,
little
this past,
shoo.
they've recently become, they were not Rocky, they were not the underdog. But it is kind of fitting because Creed's not really the underdog anymore either.
right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe this is, maybe we're right, maybe we're wrong. Maybe this is Rocky.
Yeah.
I'm good
All
with
right.
it.
Pittsburgh
All right.
Steelers. All right, this is
What have
mine.
you got?
So look, the Steelers were a franchise. They emerged. People loved them. They had this really, really weird period. They came back. Everybody loved them again. Then we had this one weird era in which everything with us was a headline. And even like something that wasn't on the field was making news. We were dysfunction on the planet. That is where I'm going. Pittsburgh Steelers are the Star Wars, the NFL.
Considering they're my secondary team, I'm not going to argue against it.
Here was mine. You're the Godfather. Completely owned.
Godfather, I'll take two. I'll take Godfather.
Godfather, you owned the 70s, but my God, you were a disappointment later in life.
We were.
But they got 2 Super Bowls later in life too, so I can't say that.
No, but like, given that team and who they had, they should have done a lot.
The behind-the-scenes dysfunction eclipsed the movies. It eclipsed the team, which is why they didn't get anywhere, which is kind of what's happening with Star Wars right now.
Yeah, I'm fine with Star Wars. All
right, so that's 2.
Yeah, sure.
That's 2. All right, the San Francisco 49ers. What's the most injury-riddled franchise in movies?
James Bond.
We already did that. Okay, well, like we need a franchise that had like a really great heyday.
What's the most racist franchise in it?
That's on the
I mean, I initially wrote down for the San Francisco 49ers the Terminator franchise.
Oh,
they've got some
Yeah.
they've got some really, really good ones in there, and they started out really, really strong, and then they get stinkers, and then every once in a while they get close to something.
We haven't gotten close. We haven't gotten close since T2. There's no hope.
Close to that, and also it just also seems really workmanlike. Planet of the Apes.
Oh, that's a good one too.
Yes.
Actually,
the racism comment works now. We're talking about apes.
Going along the Terminator line, Planet of the Apes kind of works as well. Alien.
Oh, that's not bad actually.
See, the reason I'm going Planet of the Apes.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Like you start off really strong, but then we keep getting this promise and hope that these movies are going to keep coming back with Prometheus and Covenant, and they're like, oh my God, we can see the good movie there, but you're just not there.
I like it.
Okay, so we have on here we have Alien, we have Planet of the Apes, and Terminator. So okay, Mike, you haven't said anything. What do you think?
Slightly leaning towards Alien based on the argument, but I would be okay with Terminator as well. But I'm very slightly.
Okay, and Rue,
you
didn't like Terminator: Dark Fate?
I thought Terminator: Dark Fate was shit.
I'm not gonna go that far. I mean, Genesis still exists, but
well, here's the thing with Planet of the Apes, the 49ers are starting to get good again, just like the last 3 Apes films were. Like I'm looking at this as how it trends. So that's why I feel like we haven't. You keep talking about Jacob. They're getting there. Yeah, they're not there yet, but they're still. They've been in 3 Super Bowls in the last 10 years.
But that's why I keep saying they keep giving you hope, and they can't do it.
Couldn't you argue that for the Apes films too? Because consider that weird period that they had. They had a really weird period.
The last 3 have been incredible. The last 3 are
considered one of the greatest trilogies. It's always an argument.
The last 3 are you would consider one of them being a Super Bowl win. If the 49ers had won a Super Bowl, I would give you Planet of the Apes 100%. But they haven't won it in this period, and
they made one. They made 2.
They made 3.
Yeah,
they made 3.
What's the third
one?
I was counting the Colin Kaepernick one.
Yeah, it's Colin Kaepernick, Jimmy G. Who's the third?
Oh no! All right, sorry. I'm thinking about the NFC Championships.
They made. Yeah, but that's why that's where I'm at. Is like I just think that trilogy in Apes is so good that's a Super Bowl win. But whereas in the they just keep having the promise of we're gonna get there, and they just keep missing.
Okay, so between Planet of the Apes and Alien. Sorry, Mark. I don't think Terminator's winning this. So what would you say between Alien and Planet of the Apes? Haas, Moose.
Oof, I'm gonna go with Alien.
Alien?
Jacob,
All right.
I was on board with Planet of the Apes, but I agree. This most recent trilogy is fantastic. So while these guys have gotten there, they haven't sealed the deal with the Super Bowl in the last decade. So
All right.
I'll go with Alien.
All right, Seattle Seahawks, a franchise that had a so-so start, had an incredible middle, and then just been there, been good, but nothing spectacular. What are we thinking here?
I'm okay. This is out of left field. Hannibal Lecter. So like Manhunter, Silence of the Lambs, Red Dragon. Like there's that fucking great movie in Silence, but everything else has been either shit, mediocre, or just not good.
That's actually true. Yeah, that actually really fits. And it does fit because, the early Seahawks, under Hasselbeck, actually weren't that bad. I mean, they had Largent, who's one of the best receivers of all time.
Another one that's kind of similar has the all right start, has really low lows, a really high, and right now it's just though I don't know whether or not the ending will fit. But Thor. Right around in the middle. The only thing is right now, I don't know whether or not the Seahawks are Love and Thunder. Unless people are really split on Love and Thunder. Because I just think Love and Thunder is not good.
I mean, depending on how Geno plays this year, they could be.
They could be Love and Thunder. That's not bad, dude. Do you want to go Thor for this franchise?
Yeah.
That was an interesting choice. I like that.
All right, so we'll go Thor. All right, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is another one of those hard ones.
This is a tough one.
1 year.
Two bright spots. Two bright
spots and then a bunch of really bad.
Yeah,
bad
2 bright spots. 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Good.
Guardians of the Galaxy. The only
that's
two
all right.
now, but
No.
they have the 2 bright spots and they're really low in the middle.
Well, I agree.
like
Guardians
Guardians
2 is low in the middle. It's not that low.
Yeah,
Right.
it's not that low.
They had some low lows.
Now the timing for this
I don't
doesn't
love
work.
Rude. Guardians 2 is one of my least favorite MCU movies. I still wouldn't say it's as low as the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay,
The timing for this wouldn't work. But we're saying 2 bright spots and then an absolute low. Could this be Blade or Raimi Spider-Man?
How about Superman?
Nah, because you have to have the
Superman's not
low
bad
in the
yet.
center.
Low in
Superman's
the middle.
actually pretty good.
I was going to say
Superman, I
Superman,
think, works.
like the Christopher Reeve Superman, and then it has its comeback movies, which aren't anything stellar, but they're solid. And you have Superman 4 in the middle.
Yeah, Man of Steel is a solid flick too. That would be the most recent one that you could kind of consider the Tom Brady Super Bowl year.
I'm also a Superman Returns defender. I'm just gonna admit that right now.
Return is horrible.
Okay, so
Yeah, you're the only one, Matt.
the Superman.
Yeah.
All right, we'll go Superman.
But I do want to hear your defense of Superman Returns at one point, Matt. It's not
All
right
right.
now.
The Tennessee Titans.
What is the most mediocre across the board?
Well, think of they had some
I
pretty
just
good
thought-
highs.
actually,
Like
I
the
just
Ian
thought of
Under,
one
Aaron
for Bucks.
McNair are really good.
1 inch away from a win. 1
Yeah.
yard away from a win. Jacob, you had one?
No, I just thought of one for the Bucks that would have that
What
I'm
actually.
sorry. Well, okay, we'll go back. Okay, we're right here. What were you saying for the Bucks?
Predator, really solid. The middle, if you include Alien versus Predator, is god awful. But then Prey came out, and Predators is pretty good too.
Yeah, Prey was good.
Yeah, but you're ignoring that one in between Predators and Prey, which is the Predator. And
God awful.
God awful.
The Predator can be like the mid era of that. So that's fit.
I
So
mean,
do you
I'm
want
fine
to
with that argument.
Buccaneers.
I like Predator. I like Predator for
All right, so we'll go Predator instead. Tennessee Titans. We need like a mid. Yeah, well, a mid that like you could see like where they were going because again, one of them a Super Bowl. They had
Bad
like
news bears.
had a solid couple years of dominance.
I'm throwing this out there because I just saw it and it kind of fits, but I don't know if it'll work. But I like Night at the Museum.
Okay.
Not bad.
Sure.
I can take that.
First one was not bad. The rest are fine. Yeah.
Okay, Night at the Museum.
Or Chronicles of Narnia.
Oh, that's not bad. That's a good one actually.
The Shrek franchise.
AJ Lancaster just said Men in Black.
Men in Black's good too.
Damn it! Someone said that because that.
I think Men in Black actually has my vote because one is
Sorry,
great, 3 is pretty
I
decent,
think
2
Men in
and
Black
4
works.
and shit.
Yeah, because you like 3. Okay, fair enough.
Hey, 3's good.
3 is good.
3
Shut
is
up,
not
Jacob.
good.
All right. So I got Men in Black, Night at the Museum, and Narnia are on the table. So Haas, what do you think?
I don't know. I'm gonna go with Night at the Museum.
Night at the Museum. Okay, so
The
Rue,
first,
what's your
the first
comment?
one's pretty decent. The second one, I could still watch.
Rue, what do you think?
The only I would stick with Night just because I don't remember I consider Men in Black a classic, and I don't think the Tennessee Titans have reached that. Even though they're again a yard away, I don't think they've reached the Super Bowl status, and I consider Men in Black a Super Bowl status movie. I think it's an underrated one, but so I'd probably stick with Night at the Museum.
All right. Matt.
As someone who doesn't actually like Night at the Museum 2 or 3, I gotta stick with Men in Black here.
All right, so we got 1 minute. So we got two Night at the Museum, 1 Men in Black. Jacob.
And again, Chronicles is right in between the two, I think.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think Men in Black works for Titans at all. So I'm gonna go Night at the Museum.
Okay, so that's there. Mike, what would you have said?
The same thing. I don't think the Titans have had their Men in Black moment. So yeah.
Okay.
All right, so
Here, one thing that might work a little bit better. Same actor, Meet the Parents.
Oh sure. Yeah, but that first Meet the Parents was so fucking funny.
It is really good. It is.
Yeah,
Really good. I'm not gonna throw it out
that's
anymore. I just saw it and it was.
yeah. Night at the Museum is just a fine movie. Like it's fine. I think
All right,
that's what, what you get with
so-
the Titans too.
comedies.
I've been saving Men in Black for Washington.
Really? Okay. Well, Rue, you get the floor first.
Here's the deal. This is the only team because it's my team that I was like thinking of a movie, and it's literally 80s is amazing. And then Snyder, and then nothing much, and then Snyder comes in and he is absolutely shit year after year after year after year. And then this little last couple of years haven't been anything amazing. We got the Heineke like run against the Packers that was like just fun as hell and great. And now we have potential. This is where Transformers is supposed to go. 100%. This is the Transformers because Michael Bay is a piece of shit. Dan Snyder's a piece of shit. The Transformers, the movie, was top of the line in the 80s. And
Thank you.
And Heineke is Bumblebee. He is Bumblebee. Clinton Portis too. And then now we got Scary Terry. We got Chase Young. We got some like Pete Davidson was surprisingly great. Anthony Ramos, I will see in anything. Dominique Fishback, I will see in anything. So they got the pieces, but we don't know where we're going to go in the future. This is Transformers.
Apparently, we're going to G.I. Joe, so.
Hey, but then
Spoilers.
Spoilers, shit.
I think
All right,
I think Rue's got the touch.
So my one for this was because I think this was my thought for this was it's a franchise that's in desperate need of new leadership and desperate need of things to go somewhere else. This was I wrote this out when Dan Singer was still on the team. To me, this was the Sony Marvel universe because it's headed off by somebody or a group of people who has no idea what the fuck they're doing and they need to be stopped.
Here's my only issue.
Yeah.
Washington has had nothing like Spider-Verse ever.
Yeah, that's what hurts.
Well, I wasn't counting that. I was counting like the Venom,
The live action.
Morbius's, your Cravens, which is
After
coming
Across
soon.
the Spider-Verse, you have to count it.
All right, fair enough. I guess. Okay, fine, fair enough. I guess on technicality it is included. Don't know why, but yes, it is included. So okay, so Transformers.
The reason
Chance, I'm gonna agree with you
Not
real
seen
quick.
Across the Spider-Verse?
Chance, I'm gonna agree with you real
Yeah.
quick because here's the thing. The thing about Across the Spider-Verse is that is like Lord and Miller's baby. That has nothing to do with those heads of what Chance is talking about. So I'm actually gonna agree with Chance here because that is the big asterisk you got to throw by the Spider-Verse films. If it were not for Lord and Miller having their hands in that, it wouldn't be what it is.
Okay, so we
Can I
got
throw out
two for Sony Marvel, 2 for Transformers. Jacob, what do you think? He fucking froze. Okay, Mike, what do you think?
Ooh, that stuff. Like the problem with the Marvel's the Marvel Sony movies is like I feel like they've had more highs overall than the Washington franchise has. So that's kind of why I do like
No Way
the
Home is
Transformers
also a
argument.
part of that. It's technically a part of it.
All right. So
Okay, can I throw out?
yeah, good. Jacob, good.
And this is all depending on how you feel about the most recent movie, because I think it's a god awful piece of trash. Ghostbusters,
I was
Oh,
gonna say Ghostbusters.
huge in the 80s,
Yes.
but done nothing since, and everything has been trash since.
I
like
would
the new
agree
film.
with Ghostbusters because
I hate
I also
Afterlife.
thought
I
Afterlife.
fucking hated Afterlife.
I liked Afterlife and thought it had potential.
I enjoyed it.
I did too.
I like Afterlife.
Yeah, I did too.
I really hate Afterlife, and it's going to make and
That's a weird movie. That's one of those things. Like,
Yeah,
it's a
but-
weird movie to hate.
But to defend that, you talk about Afterlife, right? And you say, okay, that movie has potential because now the franchise again seems to have a little bit of potential to it, just like the Washington Commanders right now.
Yeah, my only reason I would stick with Transformers is
Dysfunction at the top.
is fucking Dan Snyder, and I would not put Dan Snyder on any movie franchise besides Transformers. That is also the
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm actually with Rue. I actually think the Transformers fits.
okay.
pretty well
So
for
we got, and I think
Washington
Mike, you're saying Transformers also, yeah.
Yeah, I have one. Like, I don't think it's going to beat Transformers, but just to throw it out there, Fantastic Four, because it has brought so much hope over so many times. And Washington, I lived in DC, like that is a franchise that eternally, regardless of how that team is, has the most blind faith of any sports franchise I think I've ever seen. And the Fantastic Four always has that. And
You know who else? You know what other team fan base has blind faith no matter what? My other team, the New York Knicks. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And Fantastic Four
Exactly
also
what you're
works
talking
because
Bing
Fuck
bong.
the
it
Knicks.
also works because you have the one movie that was completely fucking destroyed from ownership meddling.
Okay, so but either way, so I still think it's between Transformers. Okay, so Transformers and Fantastic Four now. I guess we'll throw that out.
Fantastic Four.
Again, my only thing is I don't think Fantastic Four has a Super Bowl.
has a high. It
Or
doesn't have
the
a
high.
Super Bowl.
It doesn't have the highs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
the problem. Yeah.
But I think it's going to end up being Transformers. All right. And that concludes our list. And wow. Yeah, a lot of these are pretty, actually, most of these are pretty spot on. I'm
any
happy that
double
my
ups?
team is the Star Wars of the NFL. All right. So, yeah, that's it. And yeah, I will be tweeting out this list later. But I just want
I
to
should
say,
say
Good.
it's apropos that the Browns get Halloween, considering on every third down they play the goddamn Halloween theme.
Oh, that's right. They do,
Yeah.
don't they?
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, this was. I had no idea what to expect when I pitched this topic, but this is more fun than I could have imagined. I want to thank all my panelists for joining. Matt, where can we find you at?
You can find me over at Watt Real Entertainment or on Twitter at Watt Movies Matt. I have 2 reviews coming out over the next couple days. I have Elemental, the movie review tomorrow. Then Thursday, I have a review for the first 2 episodes of Secret Invasion. And then Monday, my review for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny will drop. So,
All right. Rue, where can we find you at?
You can find me at my name, Amadou Moses, IG, Facebook, and Twitter. You could also find me with Bite Size Breakdown, also those same platforms, and bitesizebreakdown.com. I just posted that we are starting our Action Hero tournament starting next week, last year we tried to figure out the best geek character, and I believe it was Batman, who was the ultimate geek character. So now we're trying to figure out the one action hero that stays, pitting 80s, 90s, 2000s, and 2010s together. I just posted asking people what characters they want to see, what panelists they might want to see on the show. So look at the posts. Tell me who you would like to see in the tournament, both as panelists and as characters. And I also just did a review. If you're not watching the show Primo on Amazon for free, you are missing out on what Ted Lasso just got rid of. It is the most heartwarming, hilarious, very quick, funny ass show. And I just did an interview with one of the co-stars, Jonathan Medina, who was an absolute blast. So go check out that interview on Bite Size Breakdowns YouTube channel, and go watch Primo on Amazon just because Shea Serrano is a G and he created the show.
All right, cool. Moose, what are we going to find you at?
Well, first go and watch Amaru's interview. I watched it. It was awesome. You did fantastic, my man.
Thank you.
Of course, you can find me on Benny and Moose Save America, Barroom Trivia. Most of the folks on here have been on there. We have Matt coming up, playing in the Indiana Jones match that we'll have out before the Dial of Destiny drops. The only one on this stream who is not committed or has not been on the show yet, and I'm going to call him out, is Jacob Barber. Jacob, we're waiting to get you on Benny and Moose Save America. So anytime you want to play in any type of movie trivia, please let me know. But you can find us. There it is. Once you get to Arizona, perfect.
All right. Jay.
So yeah, every Thursday night, 6:30 p.m. Benny and Moose Save America.
Right on. Jacob, where do we find you?
You guys can find me at Jacob London on Twitter, Letterboxd, pretty much everywhere. I have officially 3 weeks left, and then I will stop being
USA. It's Sorcerer's Stone now, bitch.
It's happening. God help us all.
All right. Mike, where will we find you at?
You can find me every Wednesday night on What the Show. We are on 10 o'clock Eastern time. Tomorrow night, we are going to be doing a Ted Lasso tier ranking. So we're going to be ranking all the characters of Ted Lasso. Peggy Gubbins and Dan Bettenhausen are going to be joining us for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. Also, I don't know the date it's dropping, but an absolutely batshit insane episode of Benny and Moose Save America is coming up that I was part of, which involved us taking a drink every minute for the duration of a match, and the filming lasted almost 3 hours.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, that will be our first R-rated Benny and Moose Save America episode, and that actually drops this week.
It is this week?
It is this week, yes.
It's insane.
Yeah, we have a disclosure that we have to post in advance.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay. And you find me on Twitter, Instagram, ChanceWars_91. Check out Notorious by Chance, the podcast. We just had our episode on the Big Lebowski drop last week. Coming up this week is going to be our Pride Month special, which we'll be reviewing Philadelphia, 1993 film by Jonathan Demme. Very much look forward to reviewing that one. It's been a while since I've seen it. But yeah, thanks for watching. And also check out the YouTube channel. We'll be back again every 2 weeks. Don't know what we're doing next. We'll be back definitely in the next 2 weeks. And yeah, hopefully Russell and I can do another live stream at some point. And before we go, because I have not moved the time to include this in the intro, let us once again give a salute to the last play of Ezekiel Elliott.
Final play, looks like a penalty. Prescott over Terry Tucker gets smoked right away, and that'll do it. The 49ers back to the championship game.
What the hell was that?
I will edit that into the intro for the next week. But until then, thanks for watching. We will see you next time.
Holy shit.